Hi guys, I'm here meets everybody. It's Michelle Marie telling I'm in the house because I went to Cumbies and it was too cold. McDonald's were blasting the stereo, so I couldn't video there. And I'm on the couch because, well, why not? I figure everybody wants to see my plushies. But the biggest plushie of all is this guy. That's right, Rusty the cat. Well, he's a real cat, but, you know, he's kind of a plushie too, okay? But he's not the plushies. So, if we would show you some of the plushies that I have. There's a lot of them here, so let's start with this one here. First, this was part of the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey. She had a cub at one time that got lost. It's a white tiger. We gotta see if we can get this down to a cleaner, dry cleaners, and see if we can get these guys cleaned up. Get a full of dust. This is the white tiger, and then we have the calico cat, which also needs to go into the cleaners. Maybe we can arrange bring these down to cleaners in the future and clean them. Right now, Rusty wants some attention too. And this here is the oldest of the plushies. I bought this when I was at UConn as a student because I missed having my real cat in my dorm room. And unfortunately, he used to purr, but he don't purr anymore because the mechanism kind of fouled up. It turns out a lot of these mechanical squeezers on these things fail after a few years. For whatever reason, the rubber gets sticky or lack of use. Don't really know. I can tell Rusty's been kind of tagging the back of his fur with him because his fur is kind of a little bit messed up, but he needs a wash too. This is one of the newest kitties. This one I believe came from Tiger Kitty. So this is one of our new kitties. And what else we got? This is one of the other stuffed animals we salvaged from the yard sale around the same time I got the I Love You bear. I thought it was kind of cute too, so I kept it. See, now let's talk about those guys, because there's a story behind this. This came from Ed's ex-girlfriend named Tammy, millennials thingy with a little hat that say 010100, and get Angel Mouse. I mentioned Angel Mouse a few times in the past. I got a tie, Beanie Baby. I think this came from Gitchy. Or was this Tiger Kitty? Or was this from Gemini Gem? I don't remember where this one came from, but I know it was one of our members of our staff. I Love You bear. Let's talk about the bear here and like the rabbit. What it was, the church was having like a local rummage sale, and after the sale was over and the unsold products ended up in the box in the dumpster in the back, and well, this little pink shirt bear stood out, and well, I fell in love with it. So since it wasn't soiled or dirty, I said, I'm going to keep you for myself, because I was singing a song with Patty Loveless saying, don't toss us away. And that's kind of how I ended up with that. And then this rabbit I think was another rescue. Then we have the Hello Kitties. I have 3 of these. 4. I got 4, right? I got a 4th one later on. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. Which ones are which? Okay. This is from June Gravel. This one is a little newer, and I think I got a third. Yeah, I do. Third, I love Little Bear. I don't know where it is right now. Well, I know two of them are from June Gravel. A woman that kind of like me. Oh, here it says. This is from June Gravel. This one is from June Gravel. This one, I think, maybe from... I'm not sure where I got that one from. But I do know these two came from June Gravel. Okay? The bow came off the ear, so I had to stitch them on back on again. Well, we have some more rescues. This is Beverly Hills music box. The batteries inside died, and they were standard button cells, so I threw the batteries out because they were useless. The little sound box is right here inside. So I gotta get this out. Look at you. Yeah, we're gonna just kind of reach in and get the batteries. I took them out already so they won't leak all over the inside of my little Beverly Hills Bear. So make sure you do that. If you have things like this that use batteries, make sure if you don't use them to remove the batteries so they didn't leak and ruin the toy. Or in this case, a little plushie. I have another toy that uses batteries too, which I took out when I first got it because it was a Cinderella and it was very, very, very atrociously loud music and I just couldn't stand it. This is another rescue. Moose. It's a moose. This is another rescue. And then another one from Tiger Kitty. And another rescue. Now actually these are not as old as this Squeezier Tiger. These are still from from Willimantic. This is from Willimantic. And this is from Willimantic. So these two are from Willimantic. Okay. These are two of my original plushies. And the real cat Rusty likes to lay next to the plushies. Maybe he feels kind of like he's among family. I don't know, but that's Rusty for you. So we got things to cover, so let's talk about some stuff today. One of the stories, I have no evidence what if it's valid or if it's fake news. So let's talk about it. This is something according to Senior Citizens Disability Network saying, I think I got that right, that there's going to be a special stimulus check for people on SSI, SSDI, and Social Security recipients. I don't know anything about that, but I haven't heard anyone else mention it. Although another network show did mention it. I don't know if how that's gonna work. So we'll just have to see what happens. They said to keep an eye on your mailbox for a letter from the Social Security Administration to determine if you're eligible or you're going to receive a benefit. So, good cat. It's thinking your eyes again, huh? Let's see. This is the biggest plushie of all. Let's see the cat. So it also makes a lot of static electricity too. Yike. It gave me lots of little zaps. Alright, you for it? Yeah. So, so in short, the deal is there's supposed to be a benefit. We will see. We will see. I'm supposed to get mine in the second week of February, so therefore, we will see. The video from this morning is uploading right now. Before I came home, about 1:30, it was about a quarter of the way up. Okay? And so, I'm going to make an educated guess and say, by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, it should be finished uploading. And so, we just have to wait. Technically, the other video is already up there too, but given the fact is, everybody expects nothing but par excellence. With video, excellent resolution, excellent sound, excellent picture. And let's be honest, something's going on with the broadband in my area. I can't tell you if it's Restream doing it or if it's the internet doing it. But we were having problems with T-Mobile as well today. So, were minor. They were there. There were problems with T-Mobile as well. T-Mobile was one that was doing the Google Meets panels. We do know that there has been discussion between me, Carmen, Lomi about, well, should we go with Starlink or not? Or should we just go with home internet from the cable company? Let's talk about that option for a minute. It's the same price a month. It's that includes two things I do not necessarily need: home phone and television. Now, I don't need TV and I do not need phone, and heaven forbid, I got enough phones, right? And that means that my internet bill each month is going to be $80. Now, I'm already paying $80 between T-Mobile and Frontier. I'm talking about just the internet side of things. I'm not talking about phone. I'm not talking about anything. Because it's $77 with the home phone, but then my insurance pays $50 of it, and then I pay the other $27. Okay, so I do pay something from my own pocket, $27 a month for my home phone. And then T-Mobile internet is $50, and so it brings me back to $77. Now, as I said, the state of New York wants internet providers to offer a low-cost plan for internet. Several companies had pointed out to New York, I'm sorry, but we cannot go that inexpensive. Maybe some companies could, but many companies said, no, I'm sorry, we cannot go that cheap. Because of the associated costs, especially for Starlink, which depends on low Earth orbit satellites for like the 10 or 12 people in the state of New York that use it. It would be really kind of a loss for Starlink to do. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. Now, is Connecticut going to do something similar? Well, I know that I was quoted a $90 price tag for the monthly plan for Starlink. Now remember, I told you my home phone and my cell phone together is like $77 for the internet only. I'm not talking about the phone call section. That means, I don't forget also, it's 50, yeah, that's about right. It's about right, yeah. 77. So, I sat there and said to myself, well, okay, if I'm going to be paying $77 a month between Frontier and T-Mobile for home phone and internet versus paying $90 a month to Starlink just for internet. The upload rate with Starlink, while still quite good, it is not quite as slow as from T-Mobile. I mean, it's still pretty good. It's like 14 megabits per second up, which would be fine for 720p streaming. The problem is that this is $199 plus tax and shipping and the rest of the packages. Then I'm going to stick it outside, and I have to figure out where I'm going to stick it outside. Now, if we decide to move to a different state or a different town, I don't want to leave my dish on the roof because obvious reasons that I'm going to need it for my new place. So it would have to be mounted in a way that I can pluck it off and bring it to where I'm going to next. So that means the back porch. Well, back porch can be done. There's a couple places to stick it. And I can safely retrieve it and get it out and bring it to the next place, okay? I ran the app to determine eligibility, and I am eligible for it, and I can get a signal in the backyard if the dish is aiming more or less eastward, okay? Which means it would have to be mounted on the low steerer roof, and then I could get it that way. The problem with the network is, as Carmen said to me yesterday, is it really going to help? Because if you're going to spend all that money and your network is still terrible, then you're just wasting your money. If you can't get a good solid line of sight signal, then you're just throwing money away. Okay? If, on the other hand, you decided to put the cable modem instead, you already got a cable TV wire coming through the wall, and it's just not used for nothing. I have never used it since I moved here because I don't have cable. I don't have cable TV. I don't even know if the cable's any good, to be honest with you, but it's still here. The problem is, this is not where the wiring stuff is. As you can see over here, there's the cable, that black wire coming in along with the satellite dish wiring. It's coming through the same general holes in the wall. Okay? So I have to keep that in mind. Now, what you might be saying is, if you could get a clear line of sight, why couldn't you mount the dish right out there on the little patio? I mean, on the little deck. You can. Absolutely. There's a couple ways to do that. But the thing is, at the same time, that's not where I need it. Okay? The wire that comes with the dish is 45 meters long, power over Ethernet, 100 watt power capability, positive or minus 48 volts DC, or positive minus 48 volts DC. In other words, positive down, negative center, positive terminal. But the router is fairly large. at least from what the guy showed. But this guy that showed this was installing it in a house, and he was getting into the really complicated setup, talking about how he's installing it this way through his routers, and talking about additional switches and UPSs and lightning arresters and all kinds of hardware, which, and then of course he mounts it on top of a large TV mast and tower that he already had at the back of the building. He said he wasn't using the TV antenna, but he left it up there anyway. I wonder if maybe if he does use it once in a while, he just doesn't say it. That's a whole other thing we could talk about real quick too. American Advanced Television Standards Committee version 3.0 is on hold right now. The FCC was hoping to switch everybody to ATSC 3.0 in 2027. However, based on the RFC request for comments, it may not be done by that time. Okay, so don't guarantee that the mandated switchover from ATSC 1.0 to ATSC 3.0 is going to occur in 2027. However, I got an idea. FCC, why don't you just leave it alone? As much as everybody doesn't like the fact that ATSC 1.0 is terrible in fringe communities where I live, the fact is there are people that do not want to spend a small fortune adding additional set-top boxes to their new TVs. The number of TVs that support ATSC 3.0 is like 2 lines of TVs. That's it, 2. And the reason is to do with intellectual property rights. And that's where the whole problem stands from, is who has the legal right to use the intellectual property from that ATSC 3.0 uses. Okay? It's part of the problem. Also, the issue of digital rights management is, again, a sticky wicket for the television industry. Broadcasters want to use it because they want to protect the property. DRM also would eventually allow them to become pay-per-view channels, subscription TV channels. After all, once you have DRM, you can enable and disable the TV reception for any receiver that doesn't pay you a license fee. It's just a fact of life. So, at this point, as Lion, LON, has said, from Connecticut, he's also in Connecticut, is it's on hold. We don't know what's going to happen. I'd say if it's not broke, don't mess with it. Okay, if it's not broken, i.e., you got people watching rooftop antennas, they're happy with ATSC 1.0, leave it alone. It's not going to hurt you. Okay. All it is that these TV channels want the digital rights management. That's really all it is. DRM is a way to basically create subscription services. Now, the other thing is, a lot of people before ATSC 1.0 was the standard in the United States, and an analog NTSC system was the thing. A lot of people had better luck receiving TV signals further away from the transmitters, and especially on the VHF channels. And with the insistence of going with digital and using the UHF dial to do it, their TV reception basically disappeared. They didn't have it anymore because they just couldn't get the signal. The transmitters are not strong, they're not in the lower frequencies, and therefore they don't propagate over even slightly on the ground wave farm like it was before on the lower VHF channels. So people kind of lost out. But it's a great idea. But it just doesn't work for everybody, okay? So we'll see what happens with that. If you are interested over the air reception, this is important to know. So why is it better to have your own independently received signals instead of having cable or fiber optic phone service? Okay, first of all, it's not always, but here's one reason. You don't have to pay a monthly subscription. Okay? Over-the-air TV in America has always been free. Okay? Yeah, there were paid channels, but majority of the TV channels of the three major networks at the time, ABC, NBC, and CBS, were free. You just need a rooftop antenna, and you were all set to go. Okay? Well, there were some pay-per-view channels on over-the-air. They were very few of them. Okay? Ben's Junk talks about pay-per-view over-the-air, or pay TV, but that's something that you can bet is going to come back again, especially if these companies keep pushing ATSC 3.0. It's that every channel can go ahead and set up as a pay TV channel. Or if you want to watch a movie, you got to go onto the website of the company, enter in your box number or whatever to get the key to watch the stream. I would like the possibility. It doesn't mean that somebody couldn't find a way to break the encryption. But we're trying to be legitimate here. We're not trying to encourage breaking the law. That's just not a good idea. But sure, some will do it. The other thing is with the internet, there is, and this is the truth, there is very little to no free internet in the United States. Okay? It don't matter if you got an Obama phone or not. If you have an Obama phone, you get probably the first gigabyte is free, and after that, you use it up, you are SOL. Okay? If you're like me and you're using T-Mobile for part of your streaming, you're paying $50 a month for 100 gigabytes of data. Now, 100 gigabytes a day sounds fine, and it is for some content. For example, if you are only stream like a 2-hour or 3-hour show once a week, now maybe a little more than that, because the show we just uploaded is 4.5 gigabytes of data. How many megabits are, you get a 100 gigabyte plan, you're uploading a 4.5 gigabyte show. Just say 5 gigabytes. That means you can have 20 shows. That's not going to last a whole month. And that is not including the Google Meet side of the show, which is using its own data, which is what our hotspot sends to T-Mobile, is the Google Meet data. Frontier uploads the main video. I suppose you could do it the other way, but I only have about 30 gigabytes left for the month, and we still have 12 days. So it's not gonna last that long. That's 15 gigabytes a week. So gotta watch our data, okay? Also, Starlink, as I said, if you've got a good line of sight, the data rate is not necessarily going to be stellar. And there's a lot of reasons, similar to with cell phone internet, as it's a shared connection, same thing with cable internet. They only can guarantee you a certain rate based on network congestion. So if you are are on a network and it's during a major event, like a sporting event, for example, when everybody's using their Starlink to watch a sports event on a pay-per-view, whatever, your data rate could be very low because you could be, everybody else is sharing your data. But on the other hand, if everybody's sharing the same data, you would think, oh, they can just multicast it. Well, theoretically they do, but the way the internet works, that's not how it works. It just isn't as much as I wish it was. That's where the cable company and the over-the-air TV antenna does get an advantage, because the data is streaming out to everybody with a TV receiver that could pick it up, and it doesn't use an additional bandwidth if 20 TVs are watching it or 1 million TVs are watching it. It's still the same signal strength. That doesn't work that way with internet on cell phones, broadband, or satellite. Either HughesNet, Starband, Starlink, okay, it doesn't matter. Or even Spectrum, Xfinity, it's going to change available data based on the number of people actually requesting that stream. Great idea, but is it going to be practical? I don't know. I still haven't decided yet. Right now, it is too cold to go worrying about rushing outside to go stick up an antenna and for Starlink in the middle of winter. Now, in the spring, I could try it. But wait, Michelle, if you do it in the spring and you buy the kit, the dish, the mount, everything, how do you know that you're going to get a good signal strength? I'm going to tell you right now, I do not guarantee know if we're going to get a good signal. I do know what the Dish app said. And I do know where I can bolt the dish and get clear line of that spot. But, this is a big but. This is so important. You have to remember that dish, whatever one it's going to be, is going to be outside. And that's where it's supposed to be anyway, right? But where are you going to mount it? Well, clearly, you want to be close enough where it comes into the building so you can get a clear line of sight signal, right? You don't want to send the dish out in the middle of nowhere to watch a TV signal. The wire is 45 meters long, so that means that, yes, you can put the dish up on the cables, over in the eaves, whatever. But make sure to remember that it's still going to deal with the line of sight. And it looks like our signal strength is more or less this way. So that is where the dish would be pointing to. And the better the dish is mounted, the more satellites you can get, because that's it. Starlink uses over 6,000 satellites. 6,000 low Earth orbit satellites. Okay, to get a signal. Not a problem. except it's a lot of satellites, right? So there's a lot of different ideas. I'm not going to rush in and do it right now. I'm not going to go where angels do not dare tread and rush myself into an installation when I don't even know where I'm going to be in the next 3-4 months. I might decide to relocate to another state. I might decide to relocate to another place in town. I might, like Stan says, he thinks that I might pass away in my sleep. Okay, let's talk about that. Oh, God. That's the better way to go, personally. Go to sleep in one home universe and you wake up in the next. Hey, that's not a bad deal, actually. It's a lot more peaceful than dying from some seriously terminal illness in the hospital, hooked up to breathing machines and tubes, and that's kind of scary and sucks, honestly. But I don't think I'm going to go that soon. I think I'm going to be around for at least another 20 years. I'm 56 now, 76. Hey, okay, that's good. Let's aim for 76. But I mean, that's reasonable. And who knows what the internet's gonna be like on 76? The internet could be the greatest thing using. Maybe if I get fiber in Winston when I'm 76. Maybe I'll be so blind and old and feeble like Baba Vanga, I'm not going to give a darn. I mean, Baba Vanga was a Bulgarian mystic who lost her sight when she was a teenager because of an accident. She'd be like walking around like this, like man's clothes, because she couldn't open her eyes. They were extremely painful. I don't have that problem, but I do get eye strain, especially if I'm looking at computers for hours and hours and hours. So, yeah, eye strain's a real thing. Okay. So, what are we going to do for the future for this internet problem? Well, we can send it back for 640 by 360 again. Okay? And we know that works better. It only seems to affect us on YouTube. It doesn't seem to affect us when we're streaming only on Kick. It doesn't seem to affect us when we're only streaming on DLive. It doesn't seem to affect us when we're only streaming on Twitch. And the data hits don't affect us when we're uploading videos to YouTube. So there's something wrong there. So like Lumi said to me, is installing Starlink really going to fix your problem? I can't say yes because we don't know what's causing it in the first place. And it doesn't matter if we use Restream or not. We still have the same problem, even with YouTube's own streaming system on Chrome. So we have the same problem, and now it's extreme when driving the truck on a different computer using wired internet. So go figure. It's very inconsistent. It makes it hard to determine what's going on. So as soon as as soon as today's video is uploaded and it's checked and inspected and verified and processed, we will publish it and get it out to you. And I'm really thinking it's going to be a much better quality video than what you guys had to endure this morning. And I'm really sorry about that. It's just, I can't always figure out what the problem is either. So just like a lot of people, I have to start making educated guesses based on what I have found. Now, right now, the answer is I do not have a clear indication of what's causing it. It's definitely not my router. It's definitely not my internet connection. But that's all I know, you know. So, yeah, I did go to McDonald's. Say, by the way, I just had 1 quarter pounder with double quarter pounder with cheese and large fries and a Diet Coke and a shake. Now, speaking of the chewing, the homemade teeth I made for the bottom, I made them very lightweight. And the problem with those lightweight teeth is they don't really stay in place in my mouth perfectly fine when chewing. So I have to be careful to chew carefully to not to dislodge the fake teeth, because they're not glued down with Polident, denture adhesive, or anything like that. They're just not. The good thing is, taking them out to clean is easy. Bad thing is, they're not, and they're very good. Now, what about the teeth that are there that are sideways? Are they still loose? Yeah, this one's still a little loose, not quite this bad. I'm going to exaggerate with my fingers. It's more like this, and this one's a little loose, but it hasn't gotten any looser. So maybe what they'll probably have to do is try to move these straight in and then put in a new, or remove them and put a partial in. The same thing with the top as well. We'll find it out when we see the dentist on March 5th, and I'm going to be very adamantly strong with them and say, listen, we need to fix this because I'm a YouTuber and I need to have my teeth look good for camera. Also, Stan's question about, are you getting a widow's peak? No, I don't think so. But I have seen a few women with high foreheads before, so it's not particularly unexpected. I'm also 56 years old, okay? I've always had a high forehead. It is right here is where my hairline is. It starts right here. And you can see that there was some breakage. So my hairline's right here. This is where my finger is where the hairline starts. Which isn't too low, but it isn't too high. I don't have any crowning in the back of my head. I did it one time, then the hair filled in. So, and I got a lot of gray hair up there, and that's why it's really interesting when I have this blonde / white hair, is it mixes with the gray. So, if you ever see my hair SUR natural light with no light modification, you can probably see that. But let me show you this close up here. I told you my ridge here is about here. Okay, actually, it's right there. It's where the hair starts growing, and you can see it. Okay, and it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Okay. Well, anyway, so we're gonna be keep looking into Starlink. Yeah. But I don't know what the long-term future is as far as where I'm gonna be in a few months. Okay? And that's going to be an issue that we need to talk about someday when we get closer to the month of March, April. Because no one right now is going to go rushing outside to go try to set up a solid internet dish in the middle of winter when it's freezing. Okay? It's just not going to happen. Okay? It's just not going to happen. But for now, I'll let you go. Do me a favor, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the videos. And I love all of you coming to the show. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all soon. Okay? So stay out of trouble. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.